Hey guys, what's up? So we have a new update on Advanced Server, and it's patch 1.7.36. First on the list is the bug fix on Chou. His first and flicker combo was just a bug last week, and now it's fixed. TikTok Chou is back, guys. Next is the buff on Moskov. The developer said his range is risky compared to other marksmen, so they'll fix it. They increase his basic attack and second skill range by a few units. Here's a side-by-side comparison so that you can see the difference. And when compared to carry, he now has a longer range because of this update. Next is the nerf on Beatrix. The developer said her ultimate is frequently used to clear lanes, which gives her too much advantage. They have to balance so that it's fair for other marksmen. All her basic attacks against towers will be reduced to 80%. And her ultimate skills will have minus 50% damage when hitting minions. Was that fair or too much? Next is the nerf on Wanwan. Her first skill will now immobilize instead of stun. This means the enemy can fight back, especially if they are long range. Slight adjustments were made to her ultimate. Maximum chase range is adjusted, and she now moves correctly toward the enemy if they are outside her range. The attack effect is lowered because of the new items from last week. Next is Claude. The new items made him too powerful, so adjustments were needed. Attack effects of his ultimate is lowered from 70 down to 55%. It's about the new effects of Corrosion Sight, Golden Staff, and the new item Swift Crossbow. Next is the nerf on Paquito. They shortened the duration of his movement boost when activating his passive, from 2.5 down to 1.8 seconds. That's going to affect his high mobility gameplay. Next is the buff on Popol and Kupa. Their jungling capabilities are limited because Kupa can't benefit from jungler equipment. To make up, Kupa will now deal 50% more damage against the jungle creeps. Jungler P and K is back. Next is the buff on Bane. They increased the knock-up duration of his sharks from 0.4 to now 0.8 seconds. The developer said it's a way to support his teammates when they are surrounded by enemies. Next is the nerf on Bendetta. Longer cooldown on her first and second skill. That's plus 2 seconds on her first, while 3 seconds on her second skill. Next is the buff on Gloo. The range of his first skill is slightly shorter, but in exchange, the Gloo's trigger range is now bigger. It means more enemies can be hit and immobilized. It also has a new effect where it heals him whenever he detonates a Gloo. Second skill range is also lowered, but they shortened the casting animation. Next is the nerf on Diggie. He now has a longer ultimate cooldown, from a fixed 60 seconds at all levels to now 74 at level 1 and 64 at level 3. You're gonna need fleeting time so bad with that long cooldown. Next is the buff on Belerick. Triggering his passive thorns will now reduce the cooldown of his second skill by 1 second. So if you consecutively activate the thorns, his second skill gets continuous cooldown reduction. To balance, they had to add 2 seconds of cooldown to his second skill. Next is the buff on Hylos. The developers wanted his ultimate to be used often, so they'll shorten its cooldown. That's minus 10 seconds on all levels. Next is the adjustment on Valentina. Longer terrify duration for her first skill. But in exchange, you can only terrify the same target after 4 seconds. This means no more double terrify effect. They also shorten the range when stealing an ultimate by 2 points. Next is the buff on Thamuz. The cooldown of his first skill can now be affected by cooldown reduction stats. At 40% cooldown reduction, it can go as low as 1.8 seconds. They also added 500 points of HP when using his ultimate. Next is the buff on Lapu-lapu. His first skill can no longer trigger his passive shield. This means only his basic attack can activate the passive. It will give you more control on when you can use the shield, unlike before where it could easily disappear with his first skill. They also improved his ultimate where it can generate more passive points when using the skills from his ultimate. As you can see, I can fill up the bar pretty fast. Next is the buff on Alucard. Using his ultimate will lower the cooldown of his other skills by 50%. It allows you to spam more skills, which will result in a higher damage output. To balance, they shorten the duration of his ultimate to 6 seconds instead of 8, and the cooldown of his first skill is also adjusted.
Nothing can stop me once.
Next is the nerf on Akai. Longer cooldown for his first skill. And they also lowered his base HP by 100 points. Next is the nerf on Mathilda. They lowered the chance of hitting the same target with her first kill by 5%. Cooldown and shield is also lowered for her second skill. In exchange, enemies that are marked by her ultimate will now be the priority target of her first skill. The developer said she's overpowered in professional play, so they had to tone her down. Next is the nerf on Lylia. Her early game damage is lowered. Base and explosion damage was decreased, but only in the early game. Next is the adjustment on Zhask. The new equipment made him too powerful, so some adjustments are required. Attack effects, damage, attack speed, and slow effect are all lowered for his first skill. Compared to official server, the new one is still stronger. Next is the buff on Xavier. Previously, his level 1 passive gives damage boost to his other skills, but now it's replaced with movement speed for 1.2 seconds. As you can see, I can move faster after hitting a target. To make up for the old passive, they had to increase the damage of his other skills. So in short, he can now move faster while his damage remained almost the same. It also means he will always deal full damage even without the help of his passive skill. Next is the buff on support heroes. Angela can now detect hidden enemies in the bush with her first skill. Florine can do the same with her second skill.
We can take a nap after winning the game.
Estes can now use his second skill to get vision on an area. You can detect the enemy even if you do not hit the target, just like this.
The right hand of the light.
Last are the item changes. Clock of Destiny will now have more stacks, HP, and mana. Same for the item Lightning Truncheon, where they adjusted its formula to make it deal more damage. Sicilian mains are gonna love this update. So what can you say about the update? Are your main heroes affected? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That's all for this video. Stay safe and thank you for watching.